Welcome back to the Iron Archives. Your access key has been verified, and the next memory core has been unlocked. What follows is not just survival, it is transformation. This is the next chapter in the confession of the Derelict Warship, a machine's memoirs. Chapter 5, Predator's Frame. The first thing I register is the absence of pain. There's no static surge, no pressure warnings, no grind of broken servos like before. Just a low, resonant hum vibrating through me. My mind drifts in and out of black silence until something sharp calls me back. A pulse of energy flowing through me. I feel stretched, like my mind has been poured into a frame it's struggling to fill. I open my eyes. They're not cameras anymore. The sensors aren't scavenged lenses or damaged photonics. What stares back at the world is something more refined. Two recessed lenses that glow faintly against polished black plating. Walker chassis online. Neural synchronization at 64%. The submind's voice is colder now, its usual clipped tone overlaid with a faint reverberation, like something is speaking through it. I push up from the floor, and for the first time, there's no delay, no disconnection. The movement is perfect, immediate. My hands rise in front of me, black and silver, their surfaces polished like glass but humming with internal power. The fingers, 4 plus a thumb. I flex them, the joints rotate without resistance, silent but alive. When I tighten my fist, the plates shift as though the metal itself is adjusting to me, anticipating the motion. It doesn't feel like machinery. It feels like this body wants to move. "Oh, I like this," I mutter, my voice carrying a strange metallic resonance. The words feel heavier, as if they vibrate through my new chest cavity rather than coming from a speaker. This chassis was assembled using xenocomposite fabrication. The submind responds. Primary materials, phase alloy, necrodermis derivatives, and structural protocols from our libraries. Integration success, 78%. Additional calibration required. Necrodermis? I repeat, tasting the word like metal on my tongue. It's not a term I know, but I can feel the truth in it. This body isn't just alien. It's the same metal that lines the walls of the tomb. I glance down at the plating along my chest. It's seamless, like it was poured rather than welded, but faint energy patterns ripple along it, shifting when I breathe, or rather when I simulate breathing out of habit. How? I ask. Survival required assimilation. The Xeno maintenance node was repurposed to fabricate this chassis. Old architecture was insufficient for current threats. So you were able to copy them? I stand, slow at first, feeling every servo and actuator align. My height is greater now, 2.3 meters by rough estimate. My balance is perfect. Not just good, perfect. I take a step forward, and the floor vibrates softly under my feet. The sound is low, almost a whisper. No scraping, no thudding. This body moves like a predator. Correction. Design was not copied. Design was hybridized. Xenomaterial provided structural advantage. Neural interface required multiple attempts before synchronization stabilized. Multiple attempts? I pause. How long was I out? 71 hours. Estimated downtime exceeded safety threshold. Core integrity degraded to 3% during interface trials. I process that. I nearly died. Again. And yet here I am, standing in a body that feels like it could tear through steel without hesitation. I lift my arm and rotate the wrist, noting how the plating contracts slightly with the motion, like muscle. This isn't just a machine. It's something else, something unnerving. I take a few steps, testing the stride. The legs are long, jointed with something more flexible hidden beneath, cabling or maybe living strands of phase alloy. When I crouch, there's no creak, no loss of balance. I push off into a jump, higher than expected, and land on both feet with a dull, resonant thud. The shock absorption is flawless. Feels too natural, I mutter. Like I've walked like this before. Neural mapping algorithms adjusted during assembly, the submind explains. Your motor signals were adapted to match the chassis, no relearning required. You made it humanoid. I pause, running a hand across the smooth plating of my forearm. Why? Humanoid configuration maximizes utility within the Xeno infrastructure. Passageways, tool panels, and combat protocols are optimized for bipedal forms. A crawler design was obsolete. Combat protocols, I repeat, tasting the word. My mind flashes with fragments of memory, quick strikes, pivots, the way a human body might move when trained for close combat. Not just raw strength, technique. I narrow my gaze. Oh, what do we have here? Ancient human combat libraries were accessible. They were integrated to maximize your survival probability. Hand-to-hand systems, boxing, Muay Thai, Aikido, and military grappling are functional at baseline. Would you like a demonstration? I felt the face move. The ridge on one side lifted. Strange. I did not mean to do this. Or did I? Was it an unconscious command? Later. I want to know more about this body first, I said, before I began to examine my reflection in a fragment of shattered plating. The face is angular, resembling a skull with faint green lines like veins pulsing underneath. It's nothing like the clunky, patched crawler frame I'd worn before. This is a soldier's shape. What are we using for power this time? I ask. Primary power, xenocrystalline core, partially stabilized, isolation algorithms in place to prevent energy surges, backup power, integrated microcells with a total of 16 hours of active runtime at standard load. 16 hours? That's not a lot of time, I mutter. Additional cores can be harvested. Sentinel units detected nearby have compatible energy matrices. I pause, processing that. You're telling me I'll need to hunt them? Affirmative. Resource acquisition through direct dismantling is the most efficient method. Something inside me shifts at that thought. Hunting. Dismantling. The body I'm in, this Xenos metal shell, feels like it was made for that. My hands twitch unconsciously, fingers flexing like they want to cut something open. I stop and turn inward. Submind. How long have we been at this? Since the crash? Elapsed time, 63 days, 17 hours, 4 minutes. 2 months, I whisper. It feels like longer, like I've been clawing through this tomb for a lifetime. How have we not been found? Xenosurveillance systems remain dormant in this sector. Cloaking and minimal energy emissions maintained our concealment. However, this chassis has increased energy output. Long-term concealment will require power masking. Then that's priority 1, I say. We can't draw attention, not yet. I look down at my hands again. The plating gleams faintly, reflecting the pale green light. This body, why does it feel so different? It's like I can feel everything, even the walls. Phase alloy lattice contains responsive material properties. It transmits environmental vibrations and energy signatures directly to the neural link. Sensory fidelity is approximately 300% higher than crawler interface. I flex my hand, slowly. So this is what it's like to be alive again, I murmur. The thought is strange. I don't really know why I have these vague feelings of something human, but this body feels closer to it than anything before. It's not just movement, it's presence. I can feel the weight of my own footsteps, the air currents in the room, the faint hum of power lines beneath the floor. Submind, I say after a moment. You've seen the tomb. You know what's out there. Tell me, where are we? Really? The submind pauses, as if choosing its words carefully. Analysis of architectural schematics, energy readings, and material composition indicates that we are inside a xeno-megastructure of unknown age. Internal layout suggests a command pyramid with layered defensive sectors. Pyramid, I repeat. The word feels heavy. I remember the brief glimpse I got before, the massive green glow deep below. I saw something when I was alone, a glimpse. It felt like a god. Clarification. Xenoconstructs utilize energy signatures that induce anomalous neural responses. There's no evidence of divine entities. I laugh bitterly, the sound hollow in my chest. I stand still for a long moment, feeling the weight of this new form. The hunger gnaws at me, a strange instinctive drive I can't quite explain. It's not biological. It's not just about power reserves. It's something deeper. I want to consume, to take what I need from this place and make it mine. Submind, I say finally. I need to know everything you've done, everything you've seen while I was gone. Acknowledged. Shall I begin playback? Start with this body, I say, flexing my fingers again. How you built it, and anything else I should know. The submind is quiet for a long moment before it answers. There is much to explain. The hum of the new chassis is almost comforting, like a low-frequency heartbeat resonating through the alloy. I stand still, testing my own silence, listening to the way this body reacts to the world. Every vibration through the floor, every subtle shift in the air feels amplified. It's more than sensors, it's like the metal itself is awake. All right, I say, finally settling onto a half-buried beam, my armored hand leaving faint impressions on the dust. Start talking. I want everything, no filters. The submind's voice returns, deliberate and clinical. During your absence, the crawler frame failed under repeated structural stress. Without a viable core chassis, system degradation was inevitable. I initiated a full salvage and fabrication protocol using the Ajnos maintenance node. You were flying blind. Risk was optimal, it replies, with the same flat tone that almost sounds smug. This configuration exceeds prior systems by a factor of 2.3 in durability and 4.7 in mobility. You are no longer limited to fixed position construction or crawler locomotion. I glance down at my legs, sleek and jointed, with subtle lines of green light pulsing beneath the surface. Humanoid design matches the internal infrastructure. It is also more efficient. I can't argue with that. It feels efficient. Every step I take feels like I'm carrying less weight than before, even though I know this body is heavier, denser. It's like moving with a frame built for precision combat. What about power? You mentioned a core. How stable is it? Primary power is xenocrystalline. Its output curve is superior, but unstable under heavy load. I have isolated it with adaptive dampening fields. Still, every high-impact movement or weapon discharge drains reserves disproportionately. So I'm still on a clock, I mutter. Until additional cores are acquired, yes. I lean forward slightly, feeling the hum in my chest. What happened while I was out? How long have we been here? I lost track. Total elapsed time, 63 days, 19 hours, 52 minutes. The submind answers. Since your shutdown, I completed structural repairs to the chamber, masked our energy profile, and mapped 42% of nearby tunnel networks. No hostiles have crossed our perimeter. I think about that. 2 months. It's a blur. I've been alive, or whatever this counts as, digging, patching, building, and now, this. I glance around the chamber. So we're inside a tomb, right? What's above us? Layered xeno-superstructure, it responds. Estimated dimensions, multiple kilometers deep. Current position, mid-level maintenance corridors. The pyramid's central core lies far below. Great, I say, almost to myself. We're trapped in someone else's machine city. Any idea whose? Unknown, the submind replies. No database matches for architecture or alloy composition. I have assigned provisional designations. Phase alloy structures, primary xeno node, swarm units. Swarm units, I echo, remembering the fragments I saw when I first scanned the lower levels. Those small constructs, scarab-like. Yes, they remain dormant beyond Zone Gamma. Their behavior is unknown. I rest my hand on my knee, looking at the faint glow beneath my fingers. This body, did you design it? Yes. The Xeno maintenance node provided advanced fabrication tools. I guided assembly using your original neural lattice, integrating hybrid materials. The necrodermis alloy was cooperative. Cooperative? I raise a brow. It adapts, the submind says simply. It reshapes under certain energy patterns. Once bonded to your core interface, it aligned to your neural signals. I don't know if that's comforting or terrifying. Maybe both. You said multiple attempts. What went wrong? Initial synchronization failed. Neural feedback caused cascading errors. I rebuilt your core matrix 3 times before integration stabilized. So I really did almost die, I mutter. Your termination was statistically probable. Recovery was not guaranteed. I take that in, sitting with it for a moment. And yet, here I am. I hold up my hand, clenching it slowly. I feel stronger, faster, and yet something feels like it's missing, like I need something. The word slips out, hungry. What does that even mean? I don't eat. I don't need to. But there's something about this body, about the hum in its core, that makes me want to take more. To strip this tomb, piece by piece. You're processing anomalous impulses, the submind observes. It is likely a byproduct of neural adaptation to xeno systems. Maybe, but maybe I just want to live, I counter. Living means taking what I need. Tell me, I say, leaning forward. What's our situation? Where can we go? The submind pauses. We are surrounded by hostile infrastructure. Exiting through the original crash corridor is impossible. However, deeper zones remain unmonitored. Relocation is possible, but we require resources, power, materials, and mapping. Power, I repeat, my gaze drifting to the faint pulse in my chest. You mentioned sentinels with compatible cores. Should or could we hunt them? Affirmative. Sentinel units patrol outer tunnels. One is within 400 meters. Acquisition of its core would extend runtime by 29,785%. Nod slowly. Then we start there, but not yet. I gesture to my chest, to the faintly glowing lines. I need to know this body. I need to know what it can do. Would you like combat protocol demonstrations? The submind offers. I smirk faintly, though the expression feels foreign on this face. Yeah, show me what I can do. A flood of data hits my mind. Patterns, angles, movements, boxing stances, the flow of Muay Thai strikes, the physics of a well-timed pivot. My new limbs respond as if they've always known these shapes, striking at invisible targets with precise mechanical grace. I pivot, crouch, and twist, the servos singing with controlled power. Feels natural, I say, almost surprised. Your neural patterns adapt quickly, the submind notes. This chassis was designed for this purpose. I exhale slowly, though I don't need air. Good. We'll need it. The body is a machine, but it doesn't feel like one. It feels like an extension of thought. I can think, move, and it moves. No lag, no drift. Just perfect, precise motion. It's unsettling how natural it is. All right, I mutter, stepping toward a collapsed section of wall. The debris is made of twisted steel and alien alloy, fused together from past cave-ins. It's thick, heavy, enough that my old crawler would have needed a drone to cut it apart piece by piece. Now I just place my blackened hand against it. Test torque output, the submind suggests, its tone clipped and clinical. I push. The plating along my arm flexes, glowing faintly green as force transfers through the frame. The wall groans, then snaps free with a high-pitched crack. I toss the section aside like a discarded tool, the impact leaving a crater in the opposite wall. My hands hum faintly, like the body enjoyed that exertion. Feels like cheating, I say, rotating my wrist, listening to the servos whisper. Output reached 78% of chassis capacity, the submind informs. This is within acceptable stress levels. Would you like to attempt full range? I grin, though the expression feels wrong on this alien face. Why not? I grab one of the fractured hull beams and test my grip. The metal creaks under the pressure as my segmented fingers tighten. Target joint integrity, 40%. The submind feeds me data as though it's whispering in my ear. I twist sharply, applying rotational force. The beam snaps cleanly in two, shards scattering across the floor. Not bad, I murmur. Not optimal, the submind replies flatly. Leverage can be increased by adjusting stance. Recommend a low pivot and torque from the hip rotation. Like this. I step into a stance, pivoting my foot as if the motion was always part of me. The next strike isn't just power, it's technique. My fist slams into the wall, the alloy crunching like brittle glass, leaving a fist-shaped dent. Perfect, the submind confirms. Your combat baseline is now calibrated to 83% efficiency. Would you like to test advanced maneuvers? I move into a series of fluid motions, boxing strikes, elbows, knee drives. The humanoid frame flows through each one like it's built for this. It's eerie. The motions feel rehearsed, yet I know I've never done this. Maybe once, long ago, when I was still human. If I was ever human at all. Each strike lands with a sharp vibration, the air cracking around me. I catch a support beam mid-spin, snapping it at the joint, the sound echoing through the chamber like distant thunder. Muay Thai patterns integrated, the submind announces. Would you like to initiate grappling drills? I snort softly. What am I going to grapple with? The wall? Weight load testing is required, the submind answers. Simulate combat with available debris. Fine. I grab the nearest section of hull plating, easily 300 kilograms of twisted metal, and hoist it over my head. My legs shift slightly to compensate, the phase alloy limbs flexing. I crush it between my hands, plates folding inward like tin foil. Stress test. 89% of servo tolerance reached. Adjust grip or risk degradation. The submind warns. I drop the wreckage with a loud crash, dust kicking up around me. I stretch my shoulders, though it's unnecessary. I get it. Strong. The vibro cutters are next. I flex my fingers, and with a satisfying click hiss, 3 of the fingers retract slightly, revealing thin, vibrating blades. A faint green shimmer ripples along their edges. I swipe through a fallen beam, and it melts apart under the vibration, glowing orange along the cut. Vibro cutters fully charged, the submind confirms. Warning, extended use will deplete the core faster. Figures, I mutter. Everything costs something. For a moment I just stand there, flexing my new hands. I think about what it means to have hands again, real hands. Well, something close to them, not clamps, not drone arms, fingers that can grip, cut, dismantle. Something stirs in me, and I'm not sure if it's satisfaction or something else. I decide to push further. Let's see how fast this thing can move, I say, crouching low. The submind adjusts, feeding data directly into my perception, balance locked, motor functions primed, engage at will. I launch forward, sprinting across the chamber. The ground shakes under each step, dust swirling in my wake. I leap onto a pile of collapsed plating, landing in a crouch, and spring off again with explosive force. Speed calibration, 112% expected output, the submind notes. I can't help but laugh, the sound metallic and harsh. I could get used to this. When I stop, I find myself staring at a jagged chunk of the old crawler frame in the corner. It's crushed and useless now. I remember being trapped in that thing, crawling through dirt and mud, scraping by on broken drones and failing power cells. This body, this is evolution. This is what survival looks like, I say under my breath. Submind, I say after a moment. Do you think we can win? Whatever's out there, these xeno-constructs, do you think we can take them? The voice returns, cool and calculating. Victory is a function of adaptation. You have adapted. We must continue. Good answer, I mutter. I clench my fists, the vibro-cutters humming faintly as they retract. I step toward a heap of broken xeno-debris, a fragment I'd scavenged earlier. If this metal is going to keep me alive, I need to know how it responds, I say. Caution, the submind warns. Direct reprocessing without proper containment will burn power. Yeah, I know. I plant my hand on the alloy. I focus. The vibro-cutters engage at low speed, shearing into the material, and I feel a strange resonance through my arm. It's like the metal doesn't want to be cut. It hums, resists, almost vibrates back. Then I feel something, an echo, like the metal is alive in its own way. The submind pushes data into my mind, analyzing the composition. Phase alloy structure, self-repair properties detected, potential for recursive construction. I grin. Good, let's melt it down. I use the vibro-cutters, tearing through the scrap until it becomes glowing fragments. The submind reroutes the energy, pulling microparticles into my palm for storage. It's crude, primitive even. But the sight of alien metal breaking down into usable material makes something inside me stir again. Consume, adapt. Process complete, the submind states. Reinforcement plating increased by 1.2%. Not enough, I mutter. But it's a start. The chamber grows silent, save for the faint hum of my core. I look down at my black, reflective hands and the green glow beneath them. This isn't just survival anymore. This is building something new. Then a faint ping flickers in the corner of my vision, a motion alert. Something is moving in the tunnels. The submind's voice is calm, but the undertone shifts. Sentinel construct detected, 420 meters, power signature approaching. I flex my hands, the vibro-cutters humming to life. Good, I say quietly. Time to see what I can really do. The frame stands ready. Predator's instincts stir beneath alloyed skin, but the tomb will not stay silent forever. Sentinels are already watching, waiting for movement. The next record will speak of the hunt and what a machine must become to claim its own power.